Good afternoon, Joe Napoli, your city manager, and welcome to the fourth noon Zoom session that we've been holding. We decided to hold these so that our residents had an opportunity to ask questions and to engage with myself and our staff directly on any questions and issues that they may have. These have been highly successful. We've consistently gotten some very insightful questions from our residents. And although the participation is not real significant, we record this and post it on all of our social media platforms, and we've gotten very good viewing on those. So I know that our residents appreciate this, and we really appreciate the questions from our residents and an opportunity to address their issues and concerns. Mike, if you wouldn't mind going to the agenda, and I'll just discuss briefly what we're going to do. Okay, so what we're going to do, first of all, I'm going to give you a quick update on Hurricane Ian's impact and the cleanup efforts that we have throughout the city. Fortunately, we weren't hit nearly as bad as some areas of the state, but we did have some pretty significant damage, and we'll talk about that. I'll go over briefly our budget that was just approved on Tuesday evening by our commission, give you an update on some of the projects we have going on. Can't stress enough about please sign up for our newsletters, our social media platforms, and any other platforms that we have where we can communicate directly with our citizens, our residents, and we'll talk about that. And then we'll go into the question and answer period, and then I'll review some of the significant events we have coming up. If you have questions, please use the Q&A function on your taskbar. You can do it during the presentation, and Mike will get those, and then at some juncture we'll answer those questions. But we'll definitely address the questions that we received, and we'll be happy to address any questions that any of you who are on have at this time. Next slide. So let's talk a little about Hurricane Ian. We were started following this several days ago, actually probably about 8 or 9, 10 days ago. We were tracking it. The path changed significantly throughout that process. Initially, it looked like we would have almost a direct hit. Then it shifted farther to the west, and then it looked like would be mid to central Florida up to the Panhandle. Then it shifted within the last 48 hours before it did hit. It started shifting south and further east. So the significant impact was in the Fort Myers, Naples area. Then it cut across the state, and I just saw a report that it should be exiting the state here shortly as a tropical storm. Came on as a category 4 storm, and it's exiting as a tropical storm right now, leaving significant damage throughout the state. The damage that we had is most of we were under first a tropical storm watch, and then a tropical storm warning. But Tuesday evening, we did have 2 tornadoes that were confirmed by the National Weather Service that touched down in Cooper City. They caused some pretty significant damage in some of our neighborhoods. It was mostly tree and debris damage. Fortunately, we had no reported injuries, but we did have some property damage to some of our businesses. And I believe I just saw a report that maybe one of our residents' homes may have had some damage to the roof. But very fortunate that we didn't have any personnel damage during this. We've been very active. Our utilities, our public works, our fire and police department have been very active since Tuesday night, responding to calls, clearing trees, clearing debris, and we'll continue to do that throughout the weekend. Hopefully by the end of the weekend, we'll have most of the debris cleared from the city. What we're asking our residents to do is go ahead and, now that the storm's over, if you want to clear some of the debris that you have, please go ahead and do that and move it to the front of your houses. We're working on how we're going to dispose of this. Right now, it looks like when I say we, the city will be picking up those items, but we're looking at our contracts and perhaps waste management to assist with that. All right, Mike, if we go to the next slide. As I mentioned earlier, our fiscal year 2023 budget, which begins on October 1st, was passed on second hearing Tuesday evening. The millage rate was reduced once again this year to 5.875. That's the lowest the total millage rate has been in the city since 2012. Low millage rate, we've still been able to put away money into our reserves. We very frugally handled our budget. We've increased services. So I think overall this is a budget that reduces millage, provides the services necessary to our residents. And as always, our public safety is our top priority and also our top expenditure in this budget, as it consistently has been. We've added quite a few items to public safety in this budget, and hopefully it'll go a long way in ensuring for the safety and security of our residents. Next slide, Mike. Well, I'm glad to report finally that our community pool resurfacing project has now been completed. It's been going on for quite a while. There was a lot that actually had to be done on this project. The resurfacing had to go down they had to clear and clean about 6 layers before they were able to adequately resurface this. There were a lot of other improvements that were made to this, but at the end of the day, it did take much too long. Some of that had to do with supply chain issues, and others just had to do with working harder with our contract to make sure that they were had the sufficient capacity to complete the project. But I'm glad to say that it is now open to the public, and the pool is in much better shape than it was before, and certainly is now in compliance with the Florida Building Code and the Florida Department of Health. As I've indicated on our previous calls, beautification is a top priority for the city, for this commission. It's one of our 4 strategic priorities. We have a lot going on in the city regarding beautification. Something you may have noticed is the ficus trees on the north side of Sterling Road are being removed right now. They were severely damaged, if you will, not really in good shape. So we're removing those ficus trees. We're going to be putting in an irrigation, and then we're going to be planting podocarpus. That should be a much sturdier plant once all that is done. So this work will continue probably for the next several weeks along those areas of Sterling Road, and then we're going to be working on adjacent areas as well. Can't emphasize enough, like I mentioned earlier, to please sign up for all of our communications that we have. We have a weekly newsletter that we send out with just a plethora of information on what's going on in the city, alerts, information on upcoming events, information on our code, information on activities that the city is doing on behalf of our residents and businesses. So please scan this QR code and sign up for our e-newsletters. This QR code is available on everything that we send out. So please please do that if you already haven't done so, and pass on to your friends and family as well. Also, please, we use all of the social media platforms. So if you haven't signed up, or if you haven't subscribed to these social media platforms, please do so. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I know Facebook is very popular here, so make sure that that you friend us so that you can get all of the information on Facebook as well as the other social media platforms. We are transitioning. Many of you probably saw we sent out a few code red messages during Hurricane Ian, but we are transitioning to the Everbridge emergency notification system. So Everbridge is available to us free of cost through a state contract. It does have more capacity than code red, so we're really happy that we're going to be bringing this on board. We'll be sending out the information, sign up information soon. And although you're signed up for code red, it's not automatically going to transition to Everbridge, particularly in case you have changed any of your contact information. So please, when we send out the information to sign up for Everbridge, that you do so. All right, we'll go ahead and get into our questions and answers that we had. Last time we had, I think, 13. This time we just have a couple questions. But again, if you have questions that have come up since we've started this session, please go ahead and ask those. So the first one is a traffic question, and it's talking specifically to the light on hiatus in Sheridan and the timing of that light. I believe our Public Works Director, Tom Good, is on. If he's not, I'll go ahead and answer this. But Tom, if you're on, if you wouldn't mind addressing this question.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. City Manager. So I can easily make certain that this concern is brought before the Broward County Traffic Engineering. Sometimes it does happen over a period of time. The timing gets a little bit out of sequence. So we'll put them on notice and advise them of the change over time of that signalization, and trusting that they will adjust it accordingly. So we'll make certain that this gets out right away to Broward County Traffic Engineering.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tom. And I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this up front. We have several of our department directors on. We have Tom Good, our Public Works Director, Stacy Weiss, our Parks and Recreation Director, Carlos Vega, our Community Development Director. That includes building. We have Aaron Kendrick, our Chief Financial Officer, on, and we also have Captain Chris DiGiovanni, our Police Chief, on. And Mike Cabello, who's our Chief Information Officer, is on as well. All right, next question, Mike. Oh, so this question is on the dog park. A very, very consistent question that we've received throughout these sessions. And again, I'll ask Tom to talk about this. We have been working very diligently on number one, identifying a location. We think we have a good location identified, then working with the county on this. But I'll go ahead and ask Tom to answer this question as well. Tom, I think you may be on mute.
I am. Thank you, Mr. City Manager. So yes, the city has been working with Broward County, their Parks and Recreations Department, and trying to collaborate and create a dog park over at the Brian Piccolo Park. So we are currently in the beginning stages, conceptualized stages, taking a look at what can the park look like, what kind of amenities are necessary, what kind of infrastructure is required to be able to have that park placed at the Brian Piccolo Park. So right now there are shade structures under conceptual. There's water that's available to bring to the location. There are places to rest while the dogs are at play and things of that nature, along with other things, activities for the dogs to do within the park. So we're working on identifying what is the potential cost for that, because it's not just as simple as putting in a park. There's a lot of other elements that are associated with land development concerns when you want to put use facilities in place. There was some conversation about the cost to get into the park. That's not been defined as of yet, but there is conversation. Broward County is aware of, if the city is participating in the cost to develop this park, then this is an item that the city may not want to accept. The park hours will be just from sunrise to sunset, essentially. No evening hours. We are not planning to have lights at this location. And the last thing I just want to say is that that there is still, nevertheless, another dog park within the city. I believe that is at Christie Shafley, if I'm saying that correctly.
Christy Shafley, yes.
Christie Shafley. So there is another dog park within the city. But the city is looking to have a bigger and better opportunity with joining Broward County and having a park that's almost similar to what you would see out at Markham Park. So, Mr. City Manager, that's about the limit of my update on that.
All right, thanks, Tom. Okay, if there's anybody on who has any questions, please go ahead and ask those questions now. And like I said, you can just go to the Q&A on your bar and type in your question. Mike Cabello is receiving those. But as we were waiting to see if anybody has any questions, just want you to be aware of some upcoming events. Next week, we'll have the book swap at the community center. This is always a very popular event. I know people have been dropping books off at the community center for the past month or so, and they'll all be on display for our residents to come on October 7th and do a book swap. This is a new item that we have. October 20th, we have Taste of Cooper City. I'm going to ask Carlos Vega, our Community Development Director, to go ahead and explain what that is. This is really exciting. Go ahead, Carlos.
Hi, good afternoon. Taste of Cooper City is our first inaugural food expo event that we're putting on. One of the challenges and charges that our city manager gave me when we created the Economic Development Division was to help boost and assist our business community. We went out, we performed a business survey, we met with as many property owners, business owners that we could speak with. And one of the biggest topics that was touched on was exposure and getting people to know that the businesses are here in Cooper City and the services they have available for them. So we put on our business expo in January, and that was our first initiative to help give exposure to the business community. And this is our second swing at it to help all of our food, local coffee shops, breweries, tea houses, bakeries, a chance to really bring some exposure to your businesses, hopefully get you some more foot traffic, some new patrons eating at your restaurants, and give the residents a true opportunity to see what services and what goods we have available for them. So we're really excited to put on this event for you, for the community, for our businesses, and let everyone know and taste all the great delicacies, foods, and drinks that Cooper City has to offer you. So October 20th from 6 to 9, right at the community center, right here off 90th Avenue. And please RSVP. The site is on our website, coopercity.gov, Taste of Cooper City. And we're looking forward to and excited to have all you there October 20th. Thank you.
Yeah, again, this is there's no cost to the public. We're just asking to RSVP, so we have an idea of how many folks will be showing up. The next,
Joe, we do have a question from somebody on
Okay.
the call.
okay.
This is from an individual asking whether Cooper City is organizing and managing a community response to those hard hit by Ian. And he clarified in saying that hard hit areas, meaning the main swath of the storm, not here in Cooper City. So mostly are any Cooper City operations or anyone taking part in efforts to those hardest hit?
Yeah, Mike, and maybe you can help me answer that. Right now, we don't have a collective effort. We are going to be indicating some state entities that you could contribute to if you wish to do that. The state has its own site where you can contribute for disaster efforts, and it's approved by the Florida legislature for these purposes. So we're going to be advertising that. Other than that, we don't have any collective efforts. We will get with some of our community to see what they may be doing, some of our nonprofits and houses of worship, and we'll get that out as well. But we don't have a citywide effort at this time. If that changes, we'll make sure to get it out. I don't know if you have anything, Mike, you would like to add.
Yeah, so the fund that you were talking about, Joe, is the Florida Disaster Fund. Of course, as a city, before we send anything out, we vet that the fund is legitimate. This one is run in a sense through the state. There's oversight It has to adhere by sunshine law. It has folks that oversee it. So it's always making sure that the funds are going where they're intended. So again, that's Florida Disaster Fund. We just posted information just a little while ago on our city Facebook page that other municipalities here in South Florida have been posting about as well.
Thanks, Mike.
And with that, there are no other questions right now, Joe.
Okay, all right, then we'll continue with our calendar of events. Our next one on October 22nd, again, a very new event, and excited about this as well, our first Health and Wellness Expo. And so I'm going to ask Stacy, our Parks and Rec Director, to talk about this as well as the next two events on there.
Good afternoon. The Health and Wellness Expo will take place on Saturday, October 22nd. It will be held at Flamingo West Park from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's going to be an opportunity for Cooper City businesses that focus on health and wellness or a healthy lifestyle to come out and expose themselves to the Cooper City community. We'll have some demonstrations on site by some of our fitness groups. We'll also be promoting our walking club to try and take that to the next level as well. So it'll just be a good opportunity, especially going into the holiday season, to make sure that we don't fall off track, and we know that we have the resources available within the city available to us to have a healthier lifestyle as well. And it's for all ages.
Okay. And then Stacy, would you mind also talking about October 28th, we have the City Halloween Extravaganza, and on October 29th, the Trick or Treat Shop to Shop.
Yes, so the October 28th event, it's a Friday night. It's going to be from 6:30 to 8:30 here in Memorial Park. It is a new event this year that we'll be doing for Halloween called Booper City. It's going to be an opportunity for participants to walk through the park, spooky environment, of course, age appropriate. We'll have different booths set out throughout the park where individuals will be able to trick or treat through it as well. So this is, again, our first year that we'll be doing this as well. And then
Memorial Park, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. And then the following morning, Saturday, October 29th, we'll have our trick or treat shop to shop, which is held out in Countryside Shops. All of the, shops typically participate, and it's a great opportunity for individuals to be able to walk around the different shops and just, really get to know the business as well. The costume contest was previously held at the Shop to Shop event. It will take place this year at the October 28th event, the Booper City. So we've changed things up a little bit for Halloween, just to make it a little bit more conducive to, having different opportunities for the city.
Great, thank you, Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 of those are new events. It's very impressive how our staff continues to expand our events for our residents and businesses as the needs arise. If you need more information on all the events we have going on in the city, you can go to our website. We have a calendar. We have both a calendar that indicates all of the city official meetings that we have, but we also have an event calendar just beneath it that has all of the events going on in the city. All right, Mike, is that it?
Yes, Joe. As of right now, no other questions.
All right, well, before we close, I'd like to give our police captain an opportunity just to talk about some of the things that are on his mind to keep our community safe and secure.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. Thank you, Mr. Napoli, for giving me an opportunity to speak. Firstly, I'm just grateful that everyone is okay. We did come out of the storm relatively well. I appreciate very much all the city department heads that assisted us in that response, and also the residents. You play a big part in helping your neighbor and then being there for one another. We had a active killer presentation scheduled for our seniors that was actually rescheduled because of the storm. That has been rescheduled to October 20th at the Community Rec Center. So if you would like to participate in an active killer presentation, unfortunately, that's a topic that's important for us to take time to just educate our residents on the best response to that type of scenario. So October 20th, at the Community Rec Center. You can also find that information on the city's website, on their calendar. We do want to take a moment just to remind the residents of the importance of how public safety works in conjunction with the public. We need you to communicate to us anything that you think that might be suspicious in the neighborhoods. Oftentimes you may see something and think that maybe you're troubling us to call us, but please call us. See something, say something. We also have a text app that if you see something, you can text it to us. You can download that on the BSO website, sheriff.org. Again, that's sheriff.org, and you can text directly to us if you do prefer not to call us. Reminder for calling us, our lobby is open 24/7, 365, 954-435-2000. So in the event you have any general inquiries or anything that you would like to pass on or ask questions about, you can always contact us directly as well. And then lastly, I just wanted to encourage our parents. We've been having some issues lately with our children posting inappropriate things on social media or texting inappropriate things to their friends and apps. And we really would like the parents to partner with us in monitoring their kids' social media behavior. New laws have been passed in the last couple of years that actually make it a crime to text certain types of threats or to write certain types of threats online or in a text message. And we've been seeing an uptick of cases being opened against our kids in their schools for inappropriate comments that are being made. These types of cases have long-standing impact in their lives. And so if you have any questions on how you can maybe monitor the social media behaviors or what kind of apps you should be ensuring your kids do not download, we have information and brochures and educational pamphlets for you. You can stop at the police lobby and we'd be happy to pass those along and have that conversation with you and your kids. And that's it, Mr. Napoli. Thank you.
No, thank you, Chief. Captain, appreciate it. And I just saw that our fire chief joined. Chief Harrington, do you have anything you want to relate to the residents at this time about maybe some of the recovery operations?
Yeah, we've like I said, we were pretty inundated during the storm. We actually brought in 2 additional units to Cooper City in order to handle the call volume that we had. And it was back-to-back calls for the entire night. As you mentioned, we do have some damage to the areas in the city. However, we did not have any injuries. We were running a lot of electrical issues in conjunction with Florida Power and Light. They were a great partner to help us out on those things. And for the upcoming month of October, it's going to be Fire Prevention Month. Then we're going to be out and about in the community. We'll be going to all the local schools and giving a fire prevention message to all the kids. And there's also a fire prevention message that's going to go out in the newsletter that Cooper City will be sending out. And we'll be participating in the events that are happening around the city for the next month. And as far as our call volume goes, I think we're back to a normal response. And so I hope everyone was safe during the storm. And that's all I have from the fire.
All right, thanks, Chief. I'm just going to ask if any of our, before we close, if any of our other directors have anything they'd like to mention at this time. Okay, if not, the past week has been very active for not only the city but for our residents, as we've had to endure the impacts of Hurricane Ian. We do offer our prayers to those areas that were much more significantly affected by us, but our residents were affected as well. And I do appreciate the response that our residents had. We were all out yesterday and our residents were cleaning up, and very, very impressed to see how concerned they were, not only for themselves, but also for their neighbors and the community as a whole. I also want to thank our commission. Our commission has ensured that we've had the resources to do what we've needed to do in these recovery efforts. And of course, I want to thank our tremendous staff who have been out since Tuesday evening, along with our BSO partners, taking care of our residents and cleaning up the city. So on that note, I want to also thank those who participated today. This will be posted to all of our social media platforms. Please pass that on to all your friends and family. And I look forward to seeing everybody again next month. Thanks very much.